When I was in high school, it was a project, a school project. I think I was like 13, 14. I'm not really sure which year it was. But it was a school project where you had to choose a place in the world and do something about it. So, these kids, like, choose India and they did this Indian dance, right? Some other people chose Germany and they made strudels, right, with the recipe. And nobody wanted to work with me because I was very weird. So somehow I had to do my, they were all groups and me by myself, which I was totally okay with it because I thought like that was totally lame and I didn't want to be a part of any of those lame projects. So I go to my grandmother and she said, well, I think the place that kind of like talks volumes about you is New York. At the time, it was this Gina Easton song called New York, and I thought that was amazing because it was like not like the most normal song that you hear. It was kind of like very weird. She was saying New York, New York, and I thought like that was amazing. And so she said, "You're gonna, you should do a show with that song." I go like, "But what are we gonna do about my looks?" She was like, "Don't worry, we are gonna work on this." So she said, "Your Aunt Maria has wigs in a drawer." She explained to me where the wigs were. She said she has wigs. I know that she has an appointment next week to the doctor. You have to find out what time the appointment is, and we're gonna go and we wanna steal her wig. At 9:30, we see her leaving, so we go and we go into this like box, like huge box like this, and we open, and all these wigs were there. And she said, "No time to try it on. Just choose the one that you want, and we make it work." So I grab the blonde wig and we go to my house, and she said, "Okay, let's try it on." So I put the blonde wig on, and it was kind of like this, and it was up to here. And I look at myself, and I thought like, "Oh my God, this is how I want to look." And she said, "Okay, you're gonna look like that for one night. So are you ready to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, perfect." She took this like pinkish sweatpants, and she said, "Pull them up." So I pulled them up to here. So she said, "I'm gonna sew them in all around, like very tight, and we're gonna make a cat suit for you." So that's what she did. She went to her machine and sewed it in. So I put it up, like it was hard to put it up. She put it up to here, and she said, and from here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sew this bra that I have, so that it was kind of like stiff bra, right? So she saw the bra, so it was like a cat suit, right? So she took all her jewelry and started sewing like earrings, in an even way. So she was so earring, 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 and then she saw all this necklace from here. So I had all this movement with my new cat suit, right? And she said, "We don't have shoes because your feet are too small, so you're gonna have to pretend that you were in high heels. So the whole show has to be in tiptoes, like you have to be tiptoeing because we don't have shoes." And I'm like, "Okay, no problem." She's like, "But something is missing," she said. And I'm like, "What?" "I don't know. It needs some kind of effect." My grandmother took this red satin sheet and she said, "I'm gonna make you a cape with this." So I don't know, she saw it somehow and she made this cape that was like this. So I was like, had my cape, and we rehearsed. And that day I went to school and we got ready in one of the classrooms, And she put some makeup on, helped me with some makeup, and she said, "Are you sure that you want to do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Okay, but maybe people won't understand it very well." And I'm like, "Who cares?" She was like, "Yeah, who cares? Just go and do it." So I came out with the Nina Hagen New York song and I did my show, New York, New York, New York, New York. In the moment I look at the public and everybody was like, what is going on? And and I was looking at everybody and everybody was like this, and Nikki was my grandmother. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So she was like so happy, clapping. My grandmother told me like, don't worry about them. Who cares? They don't know anything. They made strudels. Come on. She said, you were the best. That was the most creative and everything. So who cares about what they said? Whatever. Don't pay attention to that. Plus, I'm pretty sure like this is a show today, but someday you will be living in New York. And that I know is going to be the place for you. So somehow when I came to New York, it was kind of like a realization of all the influence that my grandmother had in my life, and it was magical to talk to her when I came to New York. Say, hey grandma, guess where I am? I'm in New York. And she's like, duh.